Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava Batra, page 106. A. Top of the page with the Mishnah. B'simanov uvim tsarav pachos mishtos higio adshtos yinake. If one sells a field to another, telling him that he is selling him a field measuring a beit kor with its particular demarcations and borders that the seller specifies for the buyer, the field's measurement is not treated in as exacting a manner as in a standard sale. Therefore, if it later turns out that the field was not precisely a beit kor, but the difference is still less than 1/6, the field is the buyer's and the sale is valid, as is. But if the difference is greater, for example, 1/4 or 1/5, then until it is calculated at 1/6, the seller must deduct the difference from the purchase price and return money to the buyer. Gemara, the Talmud says, Itmar, Rav Huna Amar Shtus Gepachas Mishtus, Rav Yehuda Amar Shtus Yoser Mishtus. It was stated that the Amoraim disagreed about the following issue. Rav Huna says a difference that is precisely 1/6 is like one that is less than 1/6, and the sale is valid. Rav Yehuda says a difference is precisely 1/6 is like more than 1/6, and the difference must be deducted from the purchase price. So Rav Yehuda rules in favor of the seller, and Rav Huna rules in favor of the buyer. Rav Huna Amar Shtus Kavachas Mishtus Hachi Kamar Pachas Mishtus Shtus Bechal Hegiyoi Yos Mishtus Yinake. Yehuda Amar Shtus Kiyos Mishtus Hachi Kamar Pachas Mishtus Hegiyoi Ashtus Mishtus Klal Yinake. The Gemara explains the respective reasons of the two Amoraim. Rav Huna says that a difference of 1/6 is like a difference of less than 1/6, as this is what the Mishnah is saying. If the difference is less than 1/6, and including a difference that is precisely 1/6, it is the buyer's, as the sale is valid. And if it is more than 1/6, the seller must deduct the difference from the purchase price. Rabbi Yehuda says that a difference of 1/6 is like a difference of more than 1/6, as this is what the Mishnah is saying. If the difference is less than 1/6, it is the buyer's, and if the sale is valid, and if the difference is greater, until it is calculated at 1/6, and including the difference that is precisely 1/6, the seller must deduct the difference from the purchase price. Meisvei, the Gemara raises an objection. Besimanu v'mitzav v'chet shtus or hoiser shtus. Harehu kishum hadayanin higio. Ve'hashum hadayanin dishtus kiyos mishtusu. The Gemara raises an objection to Rav Huna's statement from a Brayta. If one sells a field to another, telling him that he is selling him a field measuring a beit kor within its particular demarcations and borders, and he gave him a field that is 1/6 less than the measure stipulated, or alternatively he gave him a field that is 1/6 more than the measure stipulated, it is like a sale of orphans' property that is executed in accordance with the judge's assessment of the value of that property, and therefore it is the buyer's, as the sale is valid. The Gemara states the objection. But in the case of a sale executed in accordance with the judge's assessment, an error of precisely 1/6 is like an error of more than 1/6, and the sale is void. This contradicts Rav Huna's opinion that an error of 1/6 is like an error of less than 1/6. Amar lecha Rav Huna ulitama'ech higio katani. Ela kishum adayanin, lo kishum adayanin, kishum adayanin l'shtus, lo kishum adayanin, ilu hosom patel mekach, ilu hocha higiyoi. The Gemara answers Rav Huna could have said to you in reply, Even according to your reasoning, there is still a difficulty, since Raisa teaches that it is the buyer's. In other words, the sale is final. Rather, the comparison drawn between the halacha and the judge's assessment is not a general comparison. It is like judge's assessment. It's like the judge's assessment, but it's not entirely like the judge's assessment. It is like the judge's assessment in that the limit is 1/6, but it is not like the judge's assessment as there. In the case of the judge's assessment, the sale is voided, while here in the Mishnah, it is the buyer's and the sale is final. Rav Papa Zvanago Me'ahu Gavo. It is related that Rav Papa bought land from a certain man, and will continue in the next pan. No, I don't know what that. The next plan.